Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam is such a wonderful scripture which is filled with amazing pastimes of the Lord, amazing pastimes of the devotees. If we surrender to the Lord, Lord will take care of everything. The only thing that is needed is love-filled devotional service. That's what is needed. And before we come to the platform of love-filled devotional service, the bare minimum thing is we need to understand about the Lord. And that understanding we get through bona fide scriptures like Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Many times people ask me, so what's the difference between Lord's birthday and my birthday? Those who don't have knowledge from Shastra, they ask, what's the difference? He also took birth, I also took birth. Okay, he appeared and he did not take birth the way others do. Okay, he is eternal. So he might have a birth date, but then he does not have a death date like us. Okay, the reason why he takes birth is different. Why we take birth even we don't know. Even people around will keep wondering, क्यों जन्म लिया इसने? So see, all of us, we didn't choose our parents. We didn't choose the family in which we want to take birth. We were just pushed into the womb of some lady of this world. And then we took birth. And then we took birth how? We were not smiling and laughing. We took birth crying. Yes. But when it comes to Lord does not take birth like this. Lord, he appears. So in very, very dark cell in Mathura, Kans Maharaj's jail, Devaki and Vasudev, they were there in that. And you can imagine that the Lord is taking birth there. Now it's very wonderful to note that he chose his parents. Devaki, Vasudev. He chose where he will take birth. He chose what are the different series of events that will happen. So on the day of Janmashtami, there were many, many mystical events that took place. And that proves that how our birth and Lord's birth are completely different. Lord is Lord and we are we. It's a huge difference. I feel pity on those people who think that hum bhi Bhagwan hai. Yes. Sometimes I hear people saying, आप भी भगवान हो, आप भी भगवान हो, आप भी भगवान, हम सब भगवान हैं. हम सुबह अपना nature's call control नहीं कर पाते, हम क्या भगवान हैं? Yes. When our health goes down, we cannot get up from our beds. What Bhagwan are we? One such Bhagwan was admitted in the hospital. And he was asked, आप तो कह रहे थे आप भगवान हो? ये सलाइन चढ़ा हुआ है. And then you are yelling also, you are moaning, because of the pain. That person said, you know what he said? See, in India, people have so much of daring and guts to speak all this. He said, ये मेरी लीला है. Oh, only this can happen here. Only, and then others who are there, who are foolish, they don't know what is Bhagwan because they don't read Shastra. They'll also say, हाँ, ये हमारे भगवान की लीला है. Yes. Therefore, when we understand more and more deeper, then we understand, how much foolishness is going around in this world in the name of God. But more we go deeper in Shastra, more we understand that He's divine and we are mortal. He's immortal. Yes. It becomes more and more clear. Therefore, in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Lord Himself is telling about His own birth, His appearance. Please repeat, everyone. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sarjuna. See, in this verse, Lord is so confident. He's saying, anyone who understands my birth and my activities. How are my birth and activity? Divya, divine. That person, he will come back to my abode, that is Vaikuntha, Goloka Vrindavan, and he will never take birth in this material world, O Arjun. Abhi sochiye, by understanding Lord's birth, if someone will never take birth in this material world, that goes on to say how divya his birth is. That itself shows. Therefore, Janmashtami is that event where Lord appears. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, different events that took place, the mystical events, are very nicely and beautifully described by Shukadeva Goswami. As all of us know, the 6 sons of Devaki were killed by, yes, Kans Mama. Yes, he killed. 7th child was Balram. Yes. And Balram was shifted from Devaki's womb to Rohini's womb. And Kans was thinking, अभी next बच्चा जो होगा वो 7th वाला है कि 8th वाला? Yes. Will he be 7th or will he be 8th child? He is thinking. And all the people around, they were having this understanding that look at this Kans. Before he was killing the babies after babies were taking birth, and now he has killed the baby in the womb itself. Look at this person. Look at how cruel he is. Actually, Kans had nothing to do with the 7th baby, to be frank. But for 6 times when he has done nonsense, naturally, 7th time something happens, he'll only be blamed. And that's what happened. Now, what happened is, when the 8th child, Supreme Lord Krishna, when he entered the mind of Vasudeva, from Vasudev's mind or heart, he entered the heart of Devaki. And as soon as he entered the heart of Devaki, Devaki became explicitly effulgent. Very, very effulgent. And immediately, Kans could make out, Mera kaal aa gaya hai. Now, can you imagine? Devaki didn't go to any place to become more beautiful. Just that Lord entered her heart, she became extremely effulgent, extremely effulgent. So this was the first mystical event that took place, where Krishna entered the heart of Devaki and she became extremely effulgent. And this is a very, very important fact to note. Anyone and everyone who is very interested to become a magnetic personality, to become a divine personality, the only thing that we have to do is invite the Lord to our hearts. If he appears in our heart, naturally the person will become very, very effulgent. When I'm saying effulgent, I'm remembering the founder Acharya of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. See, Prabhupada was 70 plus when he went to West. And naturally, he had so much of wrinkles on the face, pretty old. He would walk with a stick in the hand. But his disciples at that time, who met Prabhupada in that place, they would say that whenever we would look at Prabhupada, we would feel there's so much effulgence coming from his body. Now that's but obvious. That's but obvious. Because that person who holds the Lord in the heart, the first mystical thing that takes place is the person becomes very, very effulgent. Nowadays, people speak about aura. Yes. And there was one very learned person who was speaking that every person has got some aura around himself. Then he studied Prabhupada's personality and he said Prabhupada's aura would spread kilometers together, looks like. You can just imagine. And one of the disciples of Prabhupada, he said that whenever we would come close to Prabhupada, we would feel as if we are entering a spiritual bubble. And once we enter that spiritual bubble, we would forget the entire world. That's the mystical thing that takes place with that personality who is holding Krishna in the heart. And here, look at Devaki, how fortunate this lady is that she was holding Krishna in the heart. And then, on the auspicious day of Janmashtami, Lord appeared. Lord appeared in front of Devaki and Vasudeva. Okay, let me ask you all, how did Lord appear? He appeared in his four-handed form, very nice. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, he's holding that and he appeared. Because he wanted to show the world that I'm not taking birth like you people. I'm appearing. I appear to please all my devotees. Only for Devaki and Vasudeva Lord appeared. Because Devaki and Vasudeva, they were praying that, oh Lord, please appear as our son. Isn't that a wonderful desire? Yes. Such a wonderful desire. I always tell the newly married couple who are planning to beget kids, see, अगर कुछ मांगना है, तो why ask some pious soul come to our family or something like that? Why don't you ask directly for the Lord or Lord's associate? Oh Lord, you only come to our house. Oh Lord, may you send your own associate to our house. That is a very, very divine desire, you see. And here we understand that Devaki and Vasudeva, they were desiring a lot, and Lord appeared in front of them in Chaturbhuj form. Now, for your information, the second mystical thing that took place on the night of Janmashtami is, I don't know how many of you have knowledge about astrology. When it comes to astrology, there are a lot of grahas and nakshatras, which influence our subtle bodies, our mind especially. Now, some people might say, I don't believe, etc. That's up to you. But then scientifically, in Shastra, it is proved that how, when the grahas and nakshatra change their position, naturally the person gets affected. One very simple thing is, especially on Purnima and Avasya, you will see people who have some psychological issues, they go more wild that day. And this is what is found, the scientific studies also. So grahas and nakshatra, they influence us. But you know what? When Lord appeared onto this planet, at that time, grahas and nakshatras arranged themselves for the most auspicious constellation for the Lord to appear. You look at this. So grahas and nakshatras, they influence the ordinary human beings when they take birth. But the mystical thing that took place on the night of Janmashtami was, by the Lord's influence, grahas and nakshatras arranged themselves. Isn't that wonderful? Now, when the Lord appeared in the jail was no more a jail. The jail became a temple. Like this place is no more a party hall. It has become a temple. Yes. You see the lordships and all the people sitting here with beautiful tilak on the forehead. Naturally, there's a temple. And Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan is going on. So that place became a very, very beautiful place. And it is described, all the Devi Devatas, they are showering flowers onto the Lord and onto the wonderful couple Devaki and Vasudeva. Now what happened is, Devaki and Vasudeva were tensed. I would like to ask all of you, why were Devaki and Vasudeva tensed? Supreme Lord has appeared in front. Tension to hona nahi chahiye kuch. Kya tension tha unko? What was the tension that they had? What was the tension of Kans? He may try to kill our 8th child also. Arey Baba, your 8th child has appeared with 4 hands, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. Fully grown hair. He has Srivatsa mark, he has Kaustuba, he's got beautiful Vaishanti Mala. A fully grown personality standing in front of you. And these two personalities, they are thinking, oh, if Kans comes here, he will kill him. And in that mood, you know what? Devaki is asking the Lord, oh Lord, you become small baby so that I can hide you. When I was reading this for the first time, I was wondering, oh, why this lady is so foolish? Lord has appeared in his 400 form and she is thinking Kans can come and kill him. How is that possible? You know what? It is not foolishness. It's out of deep love, which we mortal beings cannot understand. Deep love. So much of parental affection that Devaki and Vasudeva had, that they were praying to the Lord, oh Lord, you become small so that we can hide you, or you better disappear so that Kans will never find you. In this mood, they were praying. So that time, our Lord, fulfilling the desire of Devaki and Vasudeva, he became a small baby. And as a small baby, he's instructing the parents. बताइए, ऐसे कभी हुआ है that some mother gives birth to a child and the child is instructing the mother, Mama, do this. Yes. That's the difference I said. His appearance and our appearance, our birth is huge difference. We are mortal beings taking birth and his divine personality appearing. There's a huge difference. And the Supreme Lord, He in that beautiful form, He is instructing them. In fact, first He told about their past lives. Oh Devaki Vasudev, you have been my devotees from last 2 lives. I appeared to you twice as your son. And now I appeared to you because you had that desire. And if you are so fearful, you can take me to Gokul Mahavan, to the house of Nanda Maharaj. And at that time, see, look at the situation of Vasudev and Devaki for that matter. They were tied like animals. See, normally when a person is tied in the jail, maybe haath mein hatkadi hogi. But then they were tied in such a way, there were chains on the neck, the chains at the leg, and that chain was tied to some pillar. Some moving space around, that's it. They cannot extend themselves, or they cannot walk to a far distance. That was the situation. So as soon as the Lord instructed that you can take me to Gokul Mahavan, and Vasudev, he started moving towards the Lord. Because that, how much ever he can move. And at that time, it is described that the chains, they broke. Naturally, the chains broke. And our acharyas, very beautifully, they describe that what is so great about these metal chains breaking? What is so great? इतनी क्या बड़ी बात है? अगर ये श्रृंखल अपने आप टूट रही है तो they're asking, or Acharya is asking this question, what is so great? Because they have a very deeper question to ask, that what is so great about these metal chains breaking? Because anyone who holds the Lord in the heart, the chains of infinite karmas of many, many lifetimes break. So what is so great about these metal chains breaking? It is described in Padma Puran that anyone who does Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service, a great miracle takes place in their life. Please repeat, a very beautiful shloka. Aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bijam phalonmukham kramenaiva praliyante Vishnu bhakte ratatmana. Here it is described that, see, from many lifetimes we have been doing various activities. And with every activity, we get karmic reactions. Papa and Punya. And in Kali Yuga, mostly Papa. Based on the activities that we do. Yes. Now just imagine from many, many lifetimes, we have got so much of karmic reactions. So much. It is described that, say by chance, by some mechanism, if we count the number of sand particles in Ganga, by chance, it's not possible. But say by some mechanism we do it. But we cannot count the number of births that we have taken in this material world. Huge number. And now in each birth, we have done so much of Papa and Punya. We have got so much of Papa and Punya in our stock. There are some who have already manifested, and there's some which will be manifesting. So currently in this life, whatever body we have got, whatever issues we are going through in our day-to-day life, the problems that we have, or any good thing also for that matter, all that is because of the manifested karma. That's called as prarabdha karma. You might have heard this term prarabdha. And that which is still in stock, agle janam ke liye, that is called as aprarabdha. Aprarabdha means that which has not yet manifested. But here it is described, anyone who does Shuddha Bhakti, the very, very mystical thing that will take place in that person's life is aprarabdha. Prarabdha, everything will be burnt to ashes. Everything will be burnt. Therefore, our acharyas are asking, why are you getting so astonished when the metal chains are getting broken, when the metal chains are automatically loosening themselves? Because anyone who does Shuddha Bhakti of the Supreme Lord Krishna, for that person, all the manifested, all the unmanifested reactions, everything is burnt to ashes. Therefore, when people come to me for counseling and they ask that I'm going through so-and-so problem, please tell me what am I supposed to do. So at that time I say that try your best to render Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. Because I can tell you that, okay, sit at one place and meditate on your breath, and think about some wonderful and peaceful scenic beauty, etc., etc. But what's the point of all that? Because once you open your eyes again, you're back to this dirty world. But if we really want to end the miseries, then we have to hold Krishna the way Vasudeva was trying to hold Krishna. Abhi tak Vasudeva pakda nahi hai Bhagwan ko. He's not holding Krishna yet. He's just trying to move towards Krishna, and at that time shackles are broken. The metal shackles are broken. Therefore, I always say, just try to move towards the Lord. That's it. Just try to move towards the Lord. And we will see the shackles of prarabdha, aprarabdha, kuta, bija, all karmic reactions will be broken. So this was a mystical thing that took place. First and foremost, Devaki became very, very effulgent. Second, all the grahas and nakshatras, they got influenced by the Lord and they arranged themselves to the best of the best constellation. And then here, the Supreme Lord appeared in the jail and he's instructing the parents, okay, you take me to Gokul Mahavan. The best part when I was reading this section, the best part is, Vasudeva didn't ask Krishna, how will I take you to Gokul Mahavan? Dikh nahi rahe mere haath mein bedi. Aren't you seeing that? You're not seeing that I have been bound in this jail and the jail has got so many gates. How will I go? So Vasudeva didn't ask anything. Vasudeva just moved towards Krishna. That is called faith. If Lord has told, things will manifest. He just moved towards Krishna. Therefore, this faith each one of us should have when we are reading Bhagavad Gita. When we read Bhagavad Gita and when Lord is telling something, if we have that faith and just move towards that instruction, we will see that will come naturally. That will manifest itself very naturally. And here we see Vasudeva started moving and chains broke. Now, second thing that took place was Vasudeva, he picked up Krishna. Now the question comes, how did he pick up Krishna? And our acharyas describe, already Vasudeva had kept one nice basket. Nice velvet cloth was put in that. And when Lord appeared, Lord was kept in that beautiful basket. And the two understanding each other, and both are very beautiful and touching. One is Vasudeva picked up that basket and kept it on his head. His Lord should be kept on the head, at the top always. And another understanding that our acharyas give is, Vasudeva had so much of love for the Lord, he took that basket and he was holding at his chest, embracing tightly, my Lord. And now he started moving. Now for your information, Vasudeva was kept in a very special jail. You might have heard Kala Pani. Yes. Much worse than that. Huge gates, n number of gates. And every gate had 2 guards. And it was very astonishing for me to read this and hear this, that if by chance anyone forcefully opens that gate, there were mechanisms by which huge stones will fall on that person and kill that person. There were locks, very, very strong locks, which were put. Very heavy locks and chains. I think this is where we get the concept of safety doors in our houses. Yes. So previously it was in the jail. Now we get it to our house. But it's needed. It's needed. Yes. Previously, the prisoners were put inside and there were safety doors. Yes. And now to safeguard ourselves from criminals, we guard ourselves with putting so many doors. Anyways, on a serious note, what happened? Shukadeva Goswami describes. He says, please repeat. Ta Krishna Vahe Vasudeva Agate Swayam Vyavartyanta Yathata Moravehe. So when Vasudeva picked up Krishna, holding close to his chest, when he started moving towards the door, here it is said, Ta Krishna Vahe Vasudeva Agate. That person was holding Krishna and was moving towards the gate. What happened? Swayam Vyavaryanta. Automatically, the gates opened wide. And now look at the beautiful comparison that is given. Yatha Tamoravehe. It is described the way when the sun rises and the darkness is dissipated. Similarly, Vasudeva has not gone close to the gate. And the gate has already opened. So when in the morning hours, early morning, when the sun is just about to rise, you cannot see the sun, but you can see the light has come and the darkness has got dissipated. Similarly, here we see that Vasudeva has not gone close to the gate. The mystical thing that took place was the gates opened. Now again, here is a very important understanding that our acharyas give. Our acharyas say that these gates, they are representing the gates of avidya, ignorance. So most of the time, because of being in ignorance, we suffer. And here we understand very clearly that any person who holds Krishna in the heart, very beautifully it is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, Krishna Surya Samahai Maya Andhakar Jaha Krishna Taha Naher Maya Radhikar. Here it is said, Krishna is like Surya and Maya is like Andhakar. And wherever there is Surya Uday, naturally there is no Andhakar. Similarly, when we hold Krishna in our heart, all the ignorance is removed, all the darkness is removed. Many times people ask me this question, समझ नहीं आ रहा इस situation में करना क्या है? It's very, very hazy. I'm not understanding what to do in this situation. You know why? Because we're in darkness. Therefore, n number of times you have to think so much. Should I choose option A? Should I choose option B? Or both? And most of the time goes in that. And especially when situations are very critical, it becomes very difficult to choose any option. Yes? Why? We are in darkness. We are in ignorance. So as soon as we have the Supreme Lord in our heart, who is compared to a sun, naturally all darkness will go away. Naturally. That's the glory of Supreme Lord. And here it is said that the doors opened. And these doors are nothing but representing how the ignorance is taken off. Again our acharyas ask, are metal doors opening? Why are you so enamored by that? Why are you so surprised? Because anyone who holds Krishna in the heart, for them, the doors of Vaikuntha open. The doors of jail getting opened. What is so great? What is so great? And there's a very important understanding that as soon as we hold the Lord in our heart, naturally, all the auspicious things take place. And the most auspicious thing is the doors of the material world open to escape from this jail, and the doors of spiritual world open to go back to our home. Therefore, Prabhupada always said, the goal of life is to go back, home back to Godhead. Going back to our home. That is what is the goal. And so wonderfully it is described here. That what is so great, metal doors opening, the doors of Vaikuntha are open for those who hold the Lord in the heart. Now the question comes, okay, doors got opened, but then guards who are sitting there, what about them? What happened to them? If the guards are awake, they'll catch Vasudeva and put in another jail. So what happened to the guards? And very beautifully it is described, again a mystical thing that took place. All the guards, which guards? Those guards who were just outside every gate, and those guards who were guarding the entire city of Mathura. All of them, they went into deep sleep. Deep sleep. Whenever Krishna is about to come, naturally sleep comes. By Lord's arrangement, this mystical thing took place that all the guards, they went off to sleep. All the guards. And our acharyas say that these guards, you know what they represent in our life? These guards, they represent various anarthas in our life. Because see, what is actually troubling us in our day-to-day life is kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. 6 enemies. These guards were enemies. They were sitting like that. And they were all asleep, deep asleep. And our acharyas say, our enemies are these 6. Lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, illusion. And each one of us sitting here, we're intelligent enough, we can analyze ourselves. You pick up any problem in your life, any problem, whichever problem you might have faced, you'll be able to map that problem to one of these 6 as the source. Either it will be lust, either it will be greed, or anger, or something like that. Therefore, it is described by Krishna Because when Arjun on the battlefield is asking, who is the greatest enemy? At that time, Krishna is saying this. Please repeat. Very beautiful shloka, 3rd chapter. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajo guna samudbhavaha, mahashano mahapapma, vidhenam iha vairinam. So Lord is saying, hey Arjun, you know who is the greatest enemy? I'll tell you. Kama. Kama esha, krodha esha. Kama is your greatest enemy. Lust is the greatest enemy. Lust means any desire that we get. Tell me, when the lust is not fulfilled, what happens? Huh? We become angry. मुझे चाहिए था, नहीं मिला. Person becomes angry. When the lust becomes fulfilled, what happens? We become greedy. Look at the situation. So, we fulfill the desire, there's a problem. We don't fulfill the desire, there's a problem. And therefore Krishna is saying, hey Arjun, therefore I tell you, Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidhenam iya vairinam. Krishna is saying. So just imagine, anyone who holds Krishna in the heart, all these enemies will go deep asleep. And the devotees, the spiritual practitioners will never be tortured by these 6. Never. Even when we want to hear about the Lord, even when we want to chant the holy names of the Lord, even when we want to do some bhakti, because many times people say, Prabhu ji, ऐसा नहीं कि मैं भक्ति नहीं करना चाहता हूँ, मैं करना चाहता हूँ, लेकिन क्या करूँ, कर नहीं पा रहा हूँ. You know why? These 6 enemies are torturing us. These 6 enemies. And therefore it is described that as soon as we hold Krishna in our heart, these 6 enemies will go deep asleep. Mind you, here it is said deep asleep. They are not killed yet. As soon as you remove Krishna from your heart, you are away from the vicinity of the Lord. Immediately these people will be back. Therefore, we will see a mystical thing that takes place in the Katha. That as soon as someone comes in this divine setup in the presence of the Lord, where glorification of the Lord takes place, these 6 things cannot trouble the person. Cannot. But as soon as we go away from the Lord, then that's the problem. Yes. Therefore, that person who can hold the Lord in the heart, he is free from these 6 enemies. So these are the mystical things taking place one after another. At the night of Janmashtami, can you imagine, middle of the night, all these things are taking place. Now, our Vasudev, he is carrying Krishna. And he moves out of the jail now. It was raining. And this was a service of Lord Indra to Lord Krishna. You know what was the service? When there's heavy rains, people don't want to step out. People want to stay inside. And to what extent? People want to stay inside and close all the doors and windows. So now when it's heavily raining, Indra had a plan that if it heavily rains, then no one will get to know, because no one will see. So no one will get to know that Vasudev is walking out of the jail. I don't know how many of you are able to understand this. By chance, if Vasudev was caught, he would have been killed. Very, very dangerous situation. And Kans, he would have done that first. And at that point, when it's heavily raining, Vasudev is stepping out. See, when it rains, just now when I was coming from one devotee's house, it was raining. So devotees were thinking, what to do now? Should we take an umbrella or should we go in the car? So we have a lot of plans. Vasudev had no plans. Vasudev had no paraphernalia with him. He didn't have an umbrella, he didn't have a raincoat, nothing. But Vasudev said, I've got an instruction. मुझे सेवा मिला है. क्या है सेवा? भगवान को जेल से गोकुल महावन ले जाना. That's the seva. And Vasudev started walking. And at that point, another very mystical thing took place. A very big umbrella manifested, and that umbrella was Sheshnag. Anantashesh, he came. And you know who is Anantashesh? He is not different from Balram. He manifested. He serves in all the possible ways. All the possible ways. He serves as a servant, he serves as his friend, he serves as his parent. When Krishna was eating mud, who was the one who went and complained to Yashoda Mai? Balram. Now Balram was not thinking, "Tu akela mitti kha ke aaya, mujhe nahi diya." He was not thinking like that. He was thinking, "Oh, he will fall sick." So in the parental mode, he went and complained to Mother Yashoda. So in all the possible ways, Balram serves. So whatever paraphernalia the Lord wears, be it the clothes or the ornaments or be it his own abode, everything is manifestation of Balram. And here Balram came to serve in the form of Ananta Shesh. Another question. Kahan the Sheshnag? Samne, Piche, right side, left side. The answer that is given is, he was behind. Okay? But here comes the question. Side में होते तो क्या problem था? सामने होते तो क्या problem था? He has huge hoods. Even if he would have been on the sides, he would have covered the entire form of Vasudeva and Krishna. क्यों नहीं थे वो side में या सामने? Okay, he's always behind Krishna. But here is a very amazing confidential secret that is given by our acharyas. Our acharyas say, Sheshnag was thinking that I shouldn't go in front of the Lord. There's no point of being in the sides, but I should be behind. Behind the Lord, yes, understood. But he was not thinking about being behind the Lord. He was thinking, I should be behind that person who is holding the Lord in his heart. Yes. And therefore, Ananta Shesh was behind. Sheshnag was behind. And here is a very wonderful thing, very, very touching. So Sheshnag was protecting Krishna or Vasudeva. He was protecting Vasudeva and naturally he was protecting Krishna. Therefore, one thing that we have to note is, in this world filled with sufferings and misery, if we take shelter of the Lord, we will be protected in all the situations. And Lord will decide how to protect. We cannot decide. We cannot tell him, protect me like this. Lord will decide. Therefore, very beautifully, it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. There was one person, his name was Jada Bharat. Now this personality, Jada Bharat, he was like a jada. He was like a stone. Sometimes people would feel that, this person is deaf and dumb. But he was a very hefty fellow also. So in the middle of the forest, there was some Narabali that was going on. This Narabali and all is not according to Shastra. But this was going on. And before the person was killed, that person ran away. So the priest there, the dacoit, the king of the dacoits, the priest of the dacoits, he said, Kisi aur ko le aao. So that time they went and they were searching, and they found Jada Bharat lying on the field. And these dacoits, they went and they said, Chalo. They didn't tell for what. Chalo hamare saath. And Jada Bharat was in so much deep meditation on the Lord all the time. He said, Chalo. Gaye wo saath mein. Now, Jada Bharat was given a bath. Garland was put. He was given food to eat. And then Jada Bharat was told by the priest of the dacoits, Apna mundi yahan rakho. Keep your neck here. In front of there was a deity of Kali, and in front of Kali. Keep your head here. He kept. And at that time, for your information, when the priest of the dacoits, when he lifted the huge sword with both the hands, heavy sword, to kill Jada Bharat, at that time, Mother Kali, she bursted out from the deity, and she, with the same sword, she killed her own devotees. Again, for your information, Jada Bharat never worshipped Kali. He was a very ardent, pure devotee of Lord Krishna. And here you see that anyone who takes shelter of the Lord, everyone, all Dev-Devdas, they come into picture to protect that devotee. And here we see Mother Kali herself coming and protecting the devotee. Therefore, very beautifully, we see the descriptions given in various scriptures. Just by taking shelter of the Lord, we will be protected very nicely. And here Ananta Shesh himself is protecting. And finally, one more mystical thing that took place. So Mathura was on one side of the river Jamuna. And Gokul Mahan was on the other side of river Jamuna. So this goes on to say that our Vasudeva, who is carrying Krishna, Krishna Vahe, he is carrying Krishna. He is supposed to cross the river. It was heavily raining, I already said. And there was huge floods in the river. You all know Yamuna is sister of whom? Huh? Yamaraj, yes. Therefore, she is also called as Yummy. Yes. Not this Yummy. Yummy. Yama and Yummy. So here we see Yamuna. She was wild. She was wild. And Vasudeva, he is not thinking twice. He is walking. Now here comes the question. How will Vasudeva cross Yamuna? Looks like Yamuna also had this question. How will this person cross me? The waves are so high. It's flooded. It is described that as soon as Vasudeva came out of the jail, already water was there. It was flooded so much. And now it's close to the river. And our acharyas say, in Treta Yuga, the way the ocean gave the path to Lord Ram to go from India to Lanka, similarly, Yamuna gave a path to Vasudeva, who was carrying Krishna, to go from Mathura to Gokul Mahavan. A very beautiful shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very much in line with what we are discussing. Please repeat. Samashritaye Padapallava Plavam Mahat Padam Punya Yasho Murare Bhavambudher Vatsapadam Param Padam Yat Vipadam Natesham. So here it is said, Samashritaye Padapallava Plavam. Those people who take shelter of Lord Krishna, Krishna's lotus feet, and Krishna's lotus feet are compared to Plavam. Plavam means boat. For them to cross this entire Bhavasagara, where at every step there is Vipadam, that is problem, there's obstacle, there's danger. It's very, very easy for him to cross over this Bhavasagara. So the person is sitting on the beautiful boat. He's on the Bhavasagar. And you know how the person is able to cross? Very, very mystical again. Today's entire katha is mystical. The mystical thing is, as soon as someone takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, by holding the Lord in the heart, the huge ocean-like structure that is there, huge Bhavasagara, that reduces in size. You know how much small? Hoof print of a calf. Calves, they're very small. When they walk in some area, muddy area, they'll have some imprints of their foot. How big they will be? Very, very small. Yes? So here it is said, anyone who takes shelter of the Lord, for them, the entire Bhavasagara reduces to the water filled in the hoof print of a calf. अभी बताइए कितना मेहनत लगेगा इसको लांघने में? How much effort the person will take? He'll just get onto the boat and then he'll cross and be there on the other side. That is Vaikuntha. Here also we see very nicely that the huge river that was flooded, the entire river, it gave the path to Vasudeva to walk. And Vasudeva was walking. At every place the water was only till his knees. That's the glory. That's the glory. It didn't come beyond the knees. And easily Vasudeva could walk and cross Jamuna. And finally he reached Gokul Mahavan. And there Yashodamai had given birth to a baby girl, Yogamaya. And he picked up Yogamaya, kept Krishna there. He came back to the jail. And now the funny part was, he took the chain and he tied himself. Because he had to make sure that Kans will not doubt कि ऐसे कुछ हुआ था. And all the gates closed by themselves. So throughout this mystical katha that we had today, the discussion was, anyone who holds Krishna in the heart, that person will be able to get all these mystical experiences. The question comes, how to hold Krishna in the heart? And very beautifully it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Please repeat. Shrunvatam swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridantasto hiya bhadrani vidunoti suhrutsata. Here it is described, anyone who hears the glories of the Lord, the holy names of the Lord, what happens? Lord personally enters that person's ears. He personally goes into the heart. Our hearts are clean or dirty? You are saying, bro, ये आपका dirty होगा. हमारा तो clean है. Yes. Actually, it's dirty because of the 6 enemies that we have. It's dirty. So Lord personally enters our heart. He cleanses our heart and He sits in the heart. Yes. He sits on the lotus of our heart. When we hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra attentively, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Doing this frequently, day after day, day in and day out, Lord enters the heart of the devotee. He cleanses the heart. He sits in the heart. And all these mystical experiences are just some experiences which only that devotee will get. Therefore, through this entire katha of Krishna being taken by Vasudeva from Mathura to Gokul Mahavan, we see that how important it is to hold the Lord in the heart, and everything in life will fall in place. And the life will be very, very blissful. Not some flickering spikes in between of happiness. Eternally blissful, exponentially growing. And this is the glory of taking shelter of the Lord by hearing His holy names and by hearing His glories. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.